Johan from Iceland, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is your favorite security tool that's open source these days?
So my favorite tool and our favorite tool at Synthes is YAR.
Is it YAR or is it YAR?
YAR, it's YAR, but it's YAR. That's right.
Nice, nice. I saw plundering on their thing, so I had to, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, and that's the entire point, because it's used for plundering secrets from Git repositories, because secrets are everywhere and they're fun to find. We like to find them for our red team engagements and our bug bounties and everything, and they can be a great shortcut to whatever we want to do. Because a lot of people think that their Git repos are private, or more private than they really are, and they push pretty much everything they have there at some point, and they commit the craziest things. And the YAR essentially searches through the entire commit history and finds whatever secrets we want to find at any time. So it uses the history and not just the actual files. So many people use Git without completely understanding how it works. So they might, there are many cases of people committing something and then going, oh shit, and going git rm and thinking that it's gone, but it's not.
So is it hard to use this tool?
No, it's fast and efficient, and it's easily tuned for with whatever you need. And the best way to get it is just it's written in Go. So it's just a Go get onto the GitHub repository, and it ships with some easy defaults and a lot of buttons to turn to tweak it to whatever you want each time.
Cool.
So yeah, that's why it's our favorite, because it finds interesting stuff and it can do whatever you want whenever you want it.
Yar.
Yar.
Thank you. Ivan, we go way back.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself for everybody else that doesn't go way back with you.
I'm Øyvind Brustad. I work in the DNB cyber defense team, working with incident response, analysis, and various cool security assignments. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff.
What's one of your favorite open source security tools?
One of my favorite open source security tools is x64 debug. It's a debugger for Windows, used when you don't have the application source code. It can be used for reversing malware, or you can hunt for exploits in Windows binary. It's pretty easy to use compared to other more legacy debuggers, and it has a brilliant plugin system that a lot of people code plugins for. So you have a lot of nice stuff there that can aid your reverse engineering process on a binary.
Awesome. How hard is it to set up and use?
Easy. You just download the latest snapshot and run the executable, and then select what you want to work on.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to use, and it has a more modern look and feel compared to other debuggers like OllyDebug and the oldest WinBag. So it's a great tool. Recommended.
Mr. Perto, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. Tell us about an open source tool of yours.
Thanks for having me. My open source tool for the month is called Node-RED. Node-RED is primarily used for event-driven applications where you receive some kind of message in Node-RED, and then you use that to do something, and that can really be about anything. So I use Node-RED for primarily the application called the Hive that I use for case management in incident response. So something is going on in the Hive, Node-RED is informed, and it starts my analyzers automatically.
So it's an automation tool.
Automation tool, yeah, it can do just about anything. You can also make web pages with it. Yeah, anything that requires some communication with something else.
Chores around the house?
Not that, not yet. Or maybe it can. It is good with the IoT as well.
Cool.
So yeah, it could probably start your vacuumer.
All right, all right. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that works out. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Blufors, welcome back.
Thank you, Robbie. It's a pleasure to be back.
It's a pleasure having you back.
We had a great talk in your podcast, and I'm looking forward to this one as well.
I said you to be back.
Yes.
I didn't mean like the week after last, but
no, that was fast. Cool.
That's how the world goes. But tell us about an open source security tool that you like to play around with.
Oh, well, you asked me what's your favorite open source tool, and I gave it a lot of thought, and then suddenly came to me. I mean, one tool that's like my top choice in my toolbox that I use so often I don't even think of it as an open source tool that I use.
It's your favorite tool.
It's my favorite tool.
Cool.
And it's Harlan Carvey's RegRipper. It's basically a Perl tool for parsing registry hives. So when you're doing forensics, you look at the registry hives of a Windows computer. And this tool has saved me innumerable hours of manual analysis of registry hives. And it beats any commercial tool out there. It is awesome for doing triage. So actually one of the things I like to do when I do a forensic investigation is that I first extract the registry hives from a system before I even start imaging the drives, because then I can extract them and start analyzing them with RegRipper and start building a timeline before the disks are even imaged. So you get a head start by using this, and it's one of my absolute favorite tools out there.
Free and best. You cannot beat that.
I don't know what could be more free than free, but RegRipper will save you lots of time.
Start there
if you do forensics. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Rikard. We'll talk soon,
Robbie. Yeah.
Very
Have
soon,
a good day.
probably.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about a open source security tool that you are into.
Yeah, well, besides my work, I do a lot of CTFs, and the tool next to Mmap I use by far the most is GoBuster, which is a tool to brute force HTTP directory or HTTPS directories. But recently they added an update which also enables you to do DNS vhosts and even open S3 buckets on Amazon. So by far the most tool I use in my CTF hobby.
So it's a tool for red teamers.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and I think the most red teamers know it by now. But I also use it to generate data for my Splunk security use cases as well.
Awesome. And where did we get it?
Well, there are two things. If you have Kali Linux installed, you can just do apt-get install GoBuster, which does not provide the latest version, or you can just download it from their GitHub. Just search on Google GoBuster, and you will have to build it yourself by using a Go. What was it? Go. No, just use Go.
Just use Go.
Yeah, Go.
I should stop asking the question, where do you get it? Because GitHub is an answer that I've received every single time. So.
yeah. Most open source tools are hosted on GitHub.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Tim. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Talk soon.
Thank you.
Yo, Dr. Mo.
Hello.
Hello.
Robbie.
Hello. Nice to see you in our sock there.
Thank you. It's a virtual background, but I'm pretending to be in the mnemonic sock.
I was gonna say, you're gonna get yelled at pretty soon for talking too loud, but not today.
Well, also this guy sitting behind my shoulder is a little bit static. He's soon falling asleep, I think.
Yeah, right. Well, he better not in our sock. But hey, tell us about an open source tool of yours that you like.
Yeah, so when you asked around for some favorite easy to use tools that we recommend, the first thing that came to me was CanaryTokens.
CanaryTokens.
So because that's really easy and fun, and it's something that everyone can try out themselves, because you can get some Canary tokens for free. There's also an open source version called Open Canary. So just to tell you what a Canary token is, it's a sort of honey token. It's a way of putting a tripwire in your computer in case someone accesses it that shouldn't be allowed to access your files or your system. So you can disguise the Canary token as for instance a document, PDF or a Word file on your computer, or it can be a Windows folder, and you should probably give it a tantalizing name like private information or credentials or
data,
whatever.
Yeah.
Confidential data in big letters, something like that. And then if someone's in your system and opening that file, you will get a notification. So you will get an email or you will get an SMS alerting you saying someone's accessed that file on your system, and you should look into this.
Cool.
So the word canary is, of course, from the in the coal mines when you had when the miners had birds in cages, and to watch to see if the air quality was getting low. If the bird died, you probably should try to get out. It's a warning that something's wrong.
Cool. And who should be using this tool? Like, what sort of use case have you used it for? Somebody?
I mean, anyone can use this. You can just put it in your personal laptop. Of course, if you're a system administrator, you can put it and run your system. And yeah, it's a way of getting notified if something suspicious is going on.
Cool. I like it. Well, thank you, Dr. Mo. Jeff, welcome back.
Thank you.
Tell us about an open source tool that you like to use these days.
So with control validation, I found several tools out there. One of my favorites is the AtomicRedTeam by Red Canary. I validate tools monthly. So I have automatic scripts that go out and run mock attacks against our infrastructure, both externally and internally. This is written in Ruby, so it's going to take some time. If you have a older version of Linux you're trying to install this on, it's going to take some time to get it running. And I'm not a big fan of Ruby, but overall, this does a great job at validating common controls against the MITRE framework. So if somebody made a change to your firewall and all of a sudden you're able to download, malware or, any sort of check and balance like this that you need, this tool will really help you for internal attack frameworks. It also will assist with your endpoint protection validation. Am I picking this up, picking that up? Is anything failing? That's the big purpose of this, to determine if your blocks or your controls are failing in any of the way the MITRE attack framework works. There are numerous tools out there that does or performs the same type of action. Some are not as well documented and some are very, rudimentary. But in the past, what I've done is if there's a known exploit out there and somebody has produced, a GitHub, validator or some sort of check that you could run, I actually run that in our environment until it's clear. So this is a red team concept, but it can be used by anybody just to validate controls.
Awesome. Perfect. Thanks, Jeff.
Good.
Take care. Mr. Honeypot.
Yeah.
What does your parents call you? Michael Vingård.
Yeah, it's totally up to you.
Name an open source security tool that you like.
The open source security tool I really, really like a lot. It's something called ConPot. It's a low interaction honeypot. The reason why I love it is that it's a bunch of really cool persons who's standing behind it. So big shout out to Johnny Vestergaard and Lucas Rest. There was the people who actually get me started into this, and it's really, really awesome.
Is it hard to use? How does it work?
Well, the thing is that it's something you can download on GitHub, and then you can start to play around. It's a honeypot where you can simulate various industrial control systems and other interesting stuff.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's really cool.
Awesome. All right. Happy birthday, Mr. Vingård. Talk to you later.
Thank you very much.
Colleague Chris.
Hi, Robbie.
What's your favorite open source security tool today?
My favorite open source security tool these days is a tool called Rubius. It's made by one of my hacking heroes, Harmjoy.
Nice.
He's a pretty cool guy, and he develops all these hacker tools for Active Directory all by himself. And what I like about Rubius is that it allows me to steal passwords and credentials out of computers and out of domain systems. And Harmjoy has made this tool for the community, and he has documented it super well. So it's really easy to get started with. And even though its inner workings are super complex, I have never encountered any issues using it.
So it's easy to set up, and it should be used for anybody that wants to.
If you're a penetration tester or just want to play with Active Directory and Kerberos security, Rubius is the tool for you.
Cool. Thank you, colleague Chris. Have a good day.
All right.
Christian, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about your favorite open source tool.
Yeah, sure. So my favorite open source tool is Volatility. It's a memory analysis framework. It's really cool for analyzing compromised systems, looking for malware, etc. So really like it.
Cool. But it's an incident response sort of focused tool, or?
Yeah, so it's for forensics mainly. So it's very useful if you're doing forensic work, and yeah, I use it all the time, and it gives me a lot of good results. So definitely check it out.
Perfect. Thank you for your suggestion.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's our pleasure. Simon Simonson, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you, Robbie.
It's great to have you back again. Tell us about an open source security tool of yours.
Yes, so the one that I want to tell about or highlight, because there are many, but this one is BloodHound. And what it allows you to do is to basically analyze who and what can be done within your Active Directory from an attacker's perspective. So it will collect the data, it will then pass this data, and then either you can have a set of built-in queries run. There are some built-in queries there, but there's actually also a lot of queries out there that you can hook up and look into. The one I would mention is on HauerSec, HAUERSEC.com. He has a nice collection of queries. It's built on the Neo4j database, so it's actually quite powerful. It will run off a workstation if you need to. And yes, it will set you up right pretty quickly, and then let you see, okay, who's domain admins and what computers do I have to traverse in order to get to a user that is member of the AD domain admin group, and some of the other powerful groups that are built-in groups within AD. So it's actually a way for the defender to see what does my Active Directory look like from an attacker's point of view. And it's always nice to know how things look from your adversary's point of view. Because then you have a chance to say, all right, this is what it looks like, this is what can be done. Then I know how I can harden up my infrastructure, or in this case, my AD, and do it in an efficient manner.
So it's a red and a blue team tool, or can be?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. Does that make it purple then?
Eventually it will. I hope the people that are running it are actually the red team that you hired, and not the ones who are about to deploy ransomware or something other nasty in your network. So hopefully you have paid the people to run BloodHound if you're not doing it yourself already. Otherwise you'll probably be in for a pretty rough Monday.
The only people that can listen to this video have good intentions. Everybody else can go watch another video. Thank you very much, Simon.
All right.
For your advice. Perfect.
No problem.
Thank you. Hey, Siri.
Hi.
Oh, well, I got two Siris answering me right now.
I'll provide with all the answers.
Yeah, right. Have the fairies resourceful series here. Anyway, do you have a recommendation for open source tools for us?
Yes, I do. I have a recommendation for you. The ACT platform, the semi-automated cyber threat intelligence platform. It's a platform mainly relevant for threat intelligence analysts, but also for lookup by the average SOC analyst, I think. So it's built with the main focus of analysis, so not just consuming and visualizing CTI, but also or mainly analysis. So it enables powerful graph queries based on a strict data model and language gremlin, for those familiar with that.
Okay, so it's basically an open source threat intelligence platform.
Yeah, it's open source with an ISC license, so it's very permissive.
So it's on GitHub and...
Yep, it's both on GitHub and in the Amazon cloud. So the platform is best if you put your own instance up with your own intelligence, but there is one online available for everyone to play with, just to get to understand it. So the online one is populated with enough data to get you started. So populate most of the data types and create bridges between different sources of CTI. It's worth a look.
Cool. I know it's worth a look because you were part of making it.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
Humbly brag, humble brag. Well, thank you very much, Siri. We'll talk soon.
We will.
Ciao. T-Dog, what up?
What up, Robbie? Nice to see you.
Tell us about an open source tool that you like to play around with.
As an earlier pen tester, I really got around to enjoy the PowerSploit framework.
PowerSploit. Tell us more about PowerSploit. Who should use it?
PowerSploit is a very effective tool for internal pen testing, specifically to gain information about Active Directory and different Windows hosts.
Cool. So is it hard to use, or can anybody use it?
It's very easy to use, very well documented, and available freely from PowerShell Mafia on GitHub.
Cool. Perfect, Tadia. Well, then we'll see you around.
See ya.
Thanks. Hey, it's the boss of the sock.
How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I wouldn't call myself a boss, but I'll be happy to take that title if you give it to me, man.
Well, hey, you're the boss today. Tell me about your favorite open source tool.
I'll be happy to, Robbie. So my favorite tool is the Splunk attack range.
Cool.
Which is shit cool. It's a platform that helps you write and test your detections. Right, so it will spin up an environment in Box as well, or in AWS, your choice. Can set up a complete environment with Windows boxes, whatnot. It will use, it's completely free in that sense. You will just load the cost of your AMIs or your VMs, right? You need to put some license in there. It spins up a free Splunk, and then it uses AtomicRedTeam to shoot in tactics. So if you have some, so if you want to test something that is known, right? Simple, you just select the tactic and you fire it in. If you have your own exploit code and you want to write detections against that, you have to tinker a little bit more, but it takes away a lot of your work and effort in setting up environments.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Mr. Anaimaktif, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about an open source tool that you like.
I want to talk about Kali, or Kali Linux. It's an open source operation system that's actually really accessible to everyone. It has tons of tooling and can be used to get to know more about security, to execute some script kiddie actions, to program your own tools. It's such a wonderful operating system. I'm really impressed by it for a long time.
Would you be worried if somebody downloaded that on your network?
No, not worried. It's more about what they are doing with it, So that's exactly. Using Kali is no problem, but if you're using it to execute all kind of malicious actions, then yeah, that's kind of worrisome. But yeah, you can use Kali to monitor Kali use. So.
Well, great. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
You're welcome, Robbie.